Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In my previous video, I showed you how to build a visual in Power BI using the drag and drop method, right? In today's video, I will show you the same process, but it will be the manual method, and we will also understand the fields pane that is available in Power BI. Now let's go back to Power BI software. So we are in the home interface of Power BI. Let me open the data pane. So these are the data source that we have connected. And in the last video, I showed you how to drag and drop the field panes to the canvas to create a visual, right? So let me show it once again. So I'm selecting the sales amount and am dragging it to the canvas, right? So this is how we created a visual using the drag and drop method, right? In this video, I will show you the manual process. So the first thing that we have to do is first we have to select a visual here. Instead of directly drag and drop this field to the canvas, first we need to select a visual here. So I will select this visual. So here you can see I've selected the stacked column chart here, right? Now the visual is selected. Now what I will do, I will populate the fields to the field section here, right? I will populate this data to the field section. Whenever I selected this visualization, here you can see the field section has been activated here. So here you can see first field is x-axis. So here you can see fields to place on the horizontal or vertical axis. And the second is y-axis, the numeric amounts to plot, right? And the third is legend, the categorical field to show for color. And the fourth is split your visuals into multiple smaller visuals based on your selected fields. And the next one and the final one is the tooltips, an additional data field that people can see in the tooltip when they hover on part of this visualization, right? So let us see how we can create a visual using this fields here. So first, now that we have selected the visual that we want, now the time is to populate this data fields, right? So we have to simply drag and place it in this fields here, right? So now starting with the data fields, now I want the numeric fields. So to add the numeric fields, where we will be adding the numeric fields? We will be adding the numeric fields in the y-axis because y-axis is only for the numeric amount to plot, right? X-axis is only for horizontal or vertical axis, right? So whenever you are placing any numeric fields, make sure you are dropping them in the y-axis, right? So now I will drop the numeric fields. So here the numeric fields are quantity and sales. So now I will drop the sales amount to the y-axis field here. So here you can see the sum of sales amount has been inserted here in the y-axis, right? So now if I hover it, you can see the sum of sales amount. You might get a question, why is that the sum of sales amount is showing only in this one column, right? So, but if I go back to the data view, so we have multiple columns of sales amount, right? So, but why is that Power BI is showing only one column of sales amount? So Power BI works in a method of aggregation. So what it will do is it will sum all the sales amounts that are available in the data and it will show it as one column here, right? So here you can see the drop down, right? So if I click on this, so the default option here is the sum, right? So that is the aggregation of all the sum totals that we are having, right? And Power BI is displaying all the sum totals as a single column. Now, so currently it is sum of sales amount, right? Now, if you want to take the average of the sales amount, then you need to simply go here and change it from sum to average, right? So here you can see now if I hover, you can see the average is 63,417.93, right? So that is how you can change the values as well, right? So we have minimum, we have we have also maximum of sales amount, we have count, we have standard deviation, right? So there are multiple options to choose but the default option is sum. So let us use the sum value here, right? Now we have added one data field to our y-axis. Now I want to add another field in my x-axis, and that will be my state, or that will be my state field, right? So what I will do, I'll bring the state field to the axis. So here you can see now we have got three individual columns for each of these states, right? So now the sum of sales amount has been divided into three columns according to the states. So now if I hover, we are getting the sum of sales amount for state Gujarat, and this is the sum of sales amount for Maharashtra, and so on, right? Now the third thing is legend. So now let's say if you want to divide this column into multiple divisions or multiple colors, then you can use the legend field here, right? So let us see how it works. So now what I will do, I will bring this product and I will drop it in the legends field here, right? So let me drag it and drop it here. So here you can see what has happened. It has created multiple divisions, right? So it has built a stack of divisions, right? So now you can see if I hover it. So this is Gujarat state, and the product is tablet, and the sales amount is only for the tablet, and here this is a product for mobile, and this is product for laptop, and this complete column is displaying the product and also the sales amount for each product, right? So that is how you can use the legend option to create multiple divisions or multiple colors. Similarly, so if I hover for Maharashtra, you can see for each product, there is separate color, right? Similarly for Delhi as well. Now, if you want to change this chart to a clustered column chart, so currently this is a stacked column chart, right? But now let us change to a clustered column chart. So if I change it to clustered column chart, you can see each state is dedicated with a separate column. So it is dedicated with a multiple other columns, right? So if you see here, uh, the blue the blue color is the product for computer, and you can see each state is divided into multiple columns here, right? So this is a better way of how you utilize the visualizations here, right? So instead of, in this case, if you're using more than two fields, then it is better to go with the clustered column chart instead of using the stacked column chart, right? So it's up to us how we utilize this visualizations as per our data fields here, right? Let me remove this legend and let me use the go back to the state field again. Now if I replace this state with product, so I will bring this state to the legend field, and I will drag this product to the x-axis. So now you can see, now we are having five individual columns for each of the products, and the divisions are made by states here, right? So previously we divided it by products. Now we are dividing. Previously we divided it by states. Now we are dividing it by products here. So in the x-axis we are having the products, right? So so this is a product for Gujarat, and computer is a product, and this is the computer product for Maharashtra, and this is a laptop for Gujarat, and this is laptop for Maharashtra, and this laptop for Delhi state, and this and the y-axis is the sales amount that is being displayed here, right? So that is how you can play around with this fields here, right? So let me remove this and let me get the state back to the x-axis, right? Let us understand the tooltips option, right? So apart from the sales amount, we also have another numerical value called quantity. Now, if you want to add quantity to the y-axis, let's say I will drag and So I will bring this quantity and I will add it in the y-axis, right? So currently it is not showing anywhere, right? But let me change this visual to clustered column chart. So here you can see there is another column that has been added for quantity, but it is currently not visible here, right? So instead of doing this thing, so what I will do, I will remove this quantity from y-axis and I will bring this quantity to the tooltips option. So now what happened? So even then there is no change in the visual, right? But whenever I hover it here, so here you can see whatever that you are seeing in the black box is called the tooltips. So visually it is not, visually the quantity field is not appearing to us, right? But whenever I hover it in the column, in this column, you can see there is a sum of quantity field appearing here, right? So similarly here as well. So whatever the black box that you are seeing here is called the tooltip option, right? So this is how, this is an additional field that you can use to display in your visual, right? So for the end user, it may not be visible in the visual, but whenever they hover it, they will see the sum of quantity, right? So that is the definition of this tooltip. So you can see an additional data fields that people can see in the tooltip when they hover on the part of this visualization. So tooltip is like an additional field that you want to showcase in your visual, right? So you can also change this state to product. So we can bring this product, and now you can also take the sum of quantities 7, 47, 14, and so on, right? So this is how you can use the tooltips option in Power BI, right? So majorly, like uh, we will not be having the requirement to use all these fields. Only 2 or 3 fields are enough to prepare to build your visual, right? So these are the most important fields that we need to understand in Power BI. So the x-axis, y-axis, legend, and tooltips. So these 4 fields are the most important options. So this is the manual way of building a visual in Power BI, and this is the most accurate way of building the visual in Power BI. So like instead of using the drag and drop, so this will be the better option to build a visual, right? So you can also play around with multiple other options that we have here, and also the data that you are having in this data pane, right? So this is uh, about the field section and how to build the visual manually using this fields section in Power BI. So I hope this video was informative and useful. Please like it and consider subscribing to my channel so that I can make much more interesting videos on Power BI. Thank you.